A video for 6.5, which is focused on American units to metric unit conversions and vice versa. What is interesting in this section is that, first of all, there's only 3 countries, as I've mentioned before, where metric is not used. America, Liberia, and Myanmar. Those are the ones as of the last time I taught a course that we looked into that. So most countries use the metric system, right? If you go to Canada, they're using the metric system. You go to England, everywhere, they use the metric system. It's pretty straightforward. America, however, I don't think they plan to change to use the metric. But if you are involved in certain branches of science in college, you generally will be dealing with the metric system. So in the American system, we talk about inches to feet as far as our length. In the standard, with metric, we look at millimeters to meters. In the American system, we talk about yard to feet. In the other units, we might be looking at centimeters to meters. In American unit, we look at miles to feet, right? We talk about miles. In the metric, we talk about kilometers. So it's important. We talked briefly about that on page 39 from our book, Tools for Mastering Mathematics. But it's important now that as we look at 6.5, that you remember the same principle you've used before is what you're going to use now. The difference, however, is that we have given you a table. There's a table that has been given to you on page 490 that shows you the relationship, right? For example, 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters. So do you see? We have relationships that can begin to be established. The reverse of this can also be written as 1 centimeter is roughly, and that this is a rough approximation here, by the way, is roughly 0.3937. So 3937 inches, right? And you can do the math to see how we got those values, but how you take this information and convert it to that information. But that's not the point of the chapter. The point of the chapter is if you're given, for example, to convert 227 miles, right? Or let's actually change that to 2,270 miles, okay? If you're told to convert that to kilometers, for example, will you be able to do that using the principles you've learned before? You should be able to, right? So you just say 2270 miles, right? And then you ask yourself, and you might not need that. I just, sometimes habit, I just set up the parentheses. So you write those, and then you say, what is the relationship between miles and kilometers? So we say 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers, right? So we write that down and we set equal, right? Because the miles will cancel. And so your answer is going to be in kilometers, right? So 2270 times 1.6093 kilometers. And your answer should be about 3653 kilometers, okay? So basically, it's good to know how to go from miles to kilometers. Depends on the situation. You might need to know that. I was thinking as I was preparing or thinking through this section, I thought to myself, it's not a very common thing, but it is generally in a small talk or conversation. Somebody might say, for example, oh, my luggage weighed 50 kilograms. And someone in America might ask you, wait, what is that in pounds? So then you have to show them how you get that value, right? So that's where it is helpful. It is helpful in conversations with people. It is helpful in maybe you have scientists working in different capacities where maybe one of them is going to mention something in pounds and you want to change to kilograms. Generally, though, in science and in chemistry especially, we like grams and so on. Growing up in Nigeria, I did a lot of stuff with metric. So it's been interesting just seeing what system is here in America. Okay, so your book gives you more examples. Remember the setup, it's always the same. You write down the thing that needs to be changed. You multiply by the parentheses that will give you the equivalent. Like, for example, kilograms. If you're converting 5.7 kilograms to ounces, then you take that. Let's actually do that one before we wrap up this section. So 5.7 kilograms to ounces. So we take the kilogram first, 5.7 kilograms. We multiply by the first one. So 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, right? There's a relationship there. So you have to take step by step. You can't just, you could try jumping from the kilogram to the ounces, but it'll be a weird conversion factor that people just don't know, randomly. But people probably know this. They know 2.2 pounds is 1 kilogram. And then they also know the relationship between 1 pound to 16 ounces, right? So we know 1 pound to 16 ounces. We go ahead and cancel the kilograms and cancel the pounds. And now you're left with 5.7 times 16, which is actually 201. That's, they wanted you to round to the nearest ounce, and that's 201 ounces. Okay, we write ounces with the short form of ounces like that. Your book goes on to explain and show you a few more things like 1 fluid ounce to liters. So there's some great conversion charts there. Use these charts as you do the problems because they'll be helpful to convert. So just use the chart. That's, of course, a good expectation. Let us end with a unit of speed. Actually, this is one of my favorites. I'm going to give you a real-life example here, okay? We're going to do a real-life example in the next video. Let me know what you think, okay?